Hi and welcome to the second video of the final week of previews for Hyper Juken Alpha Block Set 1, the new challenges. Last time was a bit long since I needed to cover how blocks, breakers, tactics, and cards with signature all work. Today should be a bit smoother. Let's start with Eterno's Adaptive Form 1. Adaptive Form 1 really does live up to the name. It can be absolutely anything. For Eterno, it's a card we'll be talking about at the end of the day. For Lucy, it's the most excitable girl. As the card pool develops, the amount of things Adaptive Form 1 can be just grows and grows. As a setup, so during your prepare phase after you draw, if you have no buffs in play, search your arsenal for a card that can become a buff with a continuous effect and place it into play as a buff. If you need a refresher, look back to last week's yellow spoiler with Retribution Form 1 on how cards with a secondary typing function. Always shuffle your arsenal after it's searched. It's a game rule. The key to Adaptive Form 1 is that it's really any buff you want it to be. It's not a card in and of itself. But wait, there's more. If the buff is neutralized by an effect, so long as you have an additional copy of that card still in your arsenal, you can replace it. If you pack a few different buffs, you can choose the one that's most advantageous to you in that matchup. Adaptive Form 1 is an incredibly versatile card whose full potential won't be seen for years to come. Unwavering Resolve is Eterno's Unwavering Breaker card and is quite different to Lucy's Unwavering Grit, despite the high level of similarities due to being a cycle of cards. Unwavering Resolve has mostly the same text. When revealed as combat damage, prevent the next 3 combat damage that your opponent's current attack would inflict, except the actual effect is quite different. It lowers your opponent's Hyper 2, meaning it's a double hit to their momentum. Not only does their attack inflict less damage, they're also kept back from Hyper Form, effects triggered by max Hyper, and Hyper attacks. This can really put a damper on some decks, as Hyper isn't the easiest thing for them to gain in the first place. You've probably stopped a mirror match Eterno or Taichi from even using their Hyper attack at all if enough of these are hit as combat damage and have really annoyed Lucy. The Undying Hero is Eterno's signature tactic, what you will search for with Adaptive Form 1, and yet another card that makes Forceful Ki Blast a key component in Eterno's arsenal. Setup or act, heal 2. If you have the Undying Hero in play as a buff, draw 1. Heal 2 is pretty good for recovery from a level 0 attack. Though, when you have a copy in play as a buff, it's really heal 1 overall since you draw a card, except it's not. As a buff, whenever you heal a specific value or target cards in your exhaust to heal, increase that value by 1. So additional copies are now heal 3, draw 1, meaning you recovered from a level 0 attack for nothing. And there are a few other cards here and there that just work like that now. Instead of being a card here, a card there, they're healing the same as a level 0 attack. But it gets better. Eterno's effect, same deal. If a level 1 attack goes through, 6 cards swing, 4 to the opponent, hit heal 2. If it's a level 2, 8 cards. But then there is Forceful Ki Blast. Heal 2, hit heal 2, hit heal 2. If it hits, 10 cards swing, 3 Hyper. It actually heals more than it inflicts damage. 3 Hyper, 7 card swing on base value, worth blocking. 3 Hyper, 10 card swing. Your opponent wants that going through even less than a level 2 attack in most cases. Typically, unless you get your opponent completely unawares, don't count on Forceful Ki Blast hitting. Just consider it a tactic you need to pay 1 key for that heals 2 and drains a block from your opponent's hand. That doesn't mean you shouldn't try to get it to stick though. Thanks for watching. Next week is our final set of previews, Taichi's second Carter and his signature tactic.